Hello again everybody and welcome back to Dark Souls 3. Today we're not necessarily going to see a new area, but we're going to do some side quest stuff. Specifically we're going to wrap up 2 and move a third one along. One that we already started. And we're also going to explore some more parts of Anor Londo. There is for one that part behind the illusory wall I just ignored because I didn't want to do it. And yeah, we might be able to see that today, who knows. Aside from that, there's still more stuff in Anor Londo. There is one more secret, which we'll see. First of all though, we did find the giant blacksmith's coal, so let's give it to Andre.
The coal of that peaceable giant. Seems like ages passed. I imagine his passing was long ago. I miss the old bugger, I do. My thanks. I'll be sure this coal is put to good use. I'll be smithing weapons never afore seen by the likes of ye. It's but a small service to pay my humble respects.
For those wondering why Andre is still alive and no one else is, well, I'm not sure. The thing is that he is undead like a lot of characters in this game. In fact, I think all of them are. But he never went hollow, so he held on for his sanity for a very long time. I'm not sure if he's unique in that regard, or if he is the only one who managed to hold on to his mind for that long. But the thing is, yeah, he's undead basically, but he didn't go hollow. And since undead are basically immortal, well, he can just be around for as long as he likes. Originally, Andre was supposed to be the sun's firstborn, by the way, in the original first draft of Dark Souls 1 story, but they scrapped that. But yeah, let's actually go back to that summon sign in front of the entrance to the Cathedral, or to the keep rather, because it will allow us to wrap up Anri's questline another way. Last time we wrapped it up by kind of stabbing her face with some kind of decorative sword.
I thought it might be more. Then I'm afraid Horace. No.
Oh wow, there was a lot of percussion there. I could barely hear Andre talking. But thankfully there were subtitles. Anyway, Aldrich is weak to fire, in case you didn't know. I think I told you last time, and he is weak to fire even though he is on fire for half of the fight. But fire is still incredibly effective, because the fact he's on fire has no effect on his fire resistance whatsoever. And especially with magic, if you're able to attack from a bit of a distance, you can make really short work of him. As you can tell, he's pretty much dead already, and just one more fireball will do it. Yep. There he goes.
I owe this to you. Thank you. Truly. Horace, we've done it. We really have.
So, I believe there's 2 more outcomes to this quest. One you'll get if you tell Anri that Horace is, you know, down there in the smoldering lake, but you don't kill Horace. In that case, Anri will die, I think. I've never done it, so I will say I think here. I'm not gonna speak in certain terms. The other one you'll get if you kill Horace and tell her about Horace. I think she'll go down there and go hollow. But anyway, last time I told you there was a bit more of a secret on this rotating staircase, and to access that we need to lower the platform again. It's quite a thing. Do you remember the crystal caves from Dark Souls 1? If yes, then those messages just floating mid-air will tell you what exactly is up already. But this is pretty much the same gimmick. You can use arrows to you know, check out where there's actually a path and where there isn't. You can use prism stones or whatever. But it's pretty much a straight path. Until that part here where you have to drop off. If you move on further, you'll die by falling. But this is the only such quote-unquote challenge in the game. But look at this figure, very peculiar. Looks a bit like Priscilla.
Name thyself, stranger. I am Yorshka, captain of the Dark Moon Knights. What beckoned thee to such a place? Thou thinkst too. Very well. Captain to this knightless company I remain. I will grant thee purpose. Thou'st journeyed far. Hear my voice. If thou shalt swear by the covenant to become a shadow of Father Gwyn and Sister Guinevere, a blade that shall hunt the foes of our lords, then I place thee under the aegis and the power of the Dark Moon. Thou art now a blade of the Dark Moon, the only knight of our company. Swear this oath and face thy solemn duty. Oh, good blade of the Dark Moon, welcome home. If I can provide thee succor, only tell me how. Long ago, our father Gwyn, lamenting the waning of the fire, became cinder of his own will. Now, the fire is linked by the champions who have come in his stead. Such is the will of Father and the gods. And so the Dark Moon Knights took arms to watch over those who link the fire. But long ago, our company lost its last proper knight. Only its covenant was preserved to this day, until the time of thy visit. Heirdom taketh many forms, indeed. May I pose thee a question? This tower, this prison, stands tall and solitary, the contraption bridging its lower reaches long unmoving. So, by what path didst thou here ascend? Art thou a creature of the air? Or other winged thing? No, of course not. Forgive my prying. Think no more on mine asking. I am ashamed to say I know very little of anything. Long ago, Ed, off so soon. May the Dark Moon watch over thee.
Alright, this is Yorshka. Yorshka seems to be like a dragon half-breed like Priscilla from the Painted World of Ariamis in Dark Souls 1. But I don't exactly know how she's related to all this. The only way I can imagine her being kind of, you know, the leader of the Dark Moon Covenant is that Gwendolyn was the one who kept that painting around. And eventually Priscilla got out of it. I don't know. The DLC might answer this question, actually, in some fashion, because while we're not going back to the Painted World of Ariamis, it's a painted world again, essentially. Anyway, up there was Yorshka, and we're now descending the tower, which will lead us back down to the Church of Yorshka Bonfire. And there's a few items here, but we've collected them all. The Painting Guardian set, among others, is actually the most interesting thing we can find up there. But we look bad in it, because we are very big and bulky, and it's a set for very thin figures. Essentially, what I'm saying is we look fat in that dress. Alright, so this next bit was actually recorded way after the rest of this episode, because I forgot for a very long time to actually come back here. This is a illusory wall. We actually were as nice as to leave a message here to, you know, let people know that there is a, well, illusory wall here. Now, for what's down here. You can see right there in that corner is one of those, lizard wolf things. I like to call them beasts of darkness, because a beast of darkness is, well, it looks like the beast of darkness from Berserk is what I'm trying to say here. Beast of darkness being a manifestation of Guts' dark, I don't know, desires, I guess, some kind of demonization, manifestation, whatever. It's complicated, and I haven't actually read Berserk in a while, so I'm not 100% sure on the specifics. But basically it's kind of a spirit that possesses him and, you know, makes him really ferocious and do some bad stuff too. Now here, in this particular spot, there's two of those. And if we were to walk, you know, inside that room, both of them would attack us. So, yeah. Don't walk in that room. Unless you know, killed one of the beasts before. Because having to fight two of those at the same time is, as you can imagine, just asking to be killed. And this encounter is hard even just, you know, fighting them one-on-one, because it's kind of a difficult enemy. Though we have the benefit of basically using equipment from much later in the game and being fully upgraded and everything at this point in time. But once you travel back in time to where we actually are, we'll be a little less powerful. But they fight exactly the same as they, or rather the one did, back on the bridge or rather below the bridge, depending on what you did. We personally ran away from the first encounter, so we had to fight him under the bridge, down near the water that slows us down. Generally though, again, you can actually put them in a prone position by attacking them a lot, by inflicting a lot of damage in a short time. They will be able to be visceral attacked. You can, you know, do it like in Bloodborne. Just go to their head, press the attack button, and boom. Only you'll do it with your weapon instead of your half-beast arm. Now in this here corner we have Archdeacon MacDonald. He's one of the Deacons of the Deep, as you can tell from his attire. He looks exactly like the other deacons, only he's, well, the ones that are actually near Aldrich seem to be wearing blue, while the ones in the Cathedral seem to be wearing red. Except for the one Archdeacon that we fought in the you know, Deacons of the Deep boss fight. That one had reddish, whitish robes, I think, if I recall correctly. But anyway, this is actually how you get access to the Aldrich's Faithful Covenant, which we've covered a bit earlier, but I'm not actually gonna, you know, do it. I'm not going to invade people as an Aldrich Faithful. But, you know, for the time being, let's actually return to Firelink Shrine. And return to our normal timeline. Now that we're actually back in Firelink Shrine, and we, you know, did complete Henri's questline, there's something for us to get here.
Ah, well met. That at last returned. Knowst thou the name Henri of Astora? The brave girl left this as thanks. Though gave no elucidation, so happened upon any twisted souls? Ah, most illustrious Lord Seeker, or should I say, Lord Slayer? Fine kindling for the thrones, is it not? Each soul truly worthy of lordship. And all slain by thy hand, to bind them to their thrones, even in death. Oh, I have no qualms, for as we are to our thrones, thou art to thy duty. In fact, methinks thou'st helped these poor lords along their rightful path.
There's quite a few boss weapons you can make at this point, but the thing is that you only get very limited upgrade materials. You need Titanite scales to upgrade a boss weapon, and you get about enough to upgrade 1.5 weapons, maybe 2 in the entire game, so you need to pick carefully.
Heed this little warning from this little lord. Seek not the girl. She knoweth her fate, what will become of her upon her duty's end. She would not wish thee follow her.
Alright then. Now that we've defeated our second Lord of Cinder, let's deliver him to his throne. And he's got this weird kind of half skull, so let's have a bit of a look inside it. It's kind of weird to get the angle, and it's fairly detailed, but yeah, it's kind of weird. So now, out of those Lords of Cinder introduced in the intro cinematic, only Yorm is left. The one throne in the middle belonged to Holy King Lothric, last help of his line. That's a different story. We're gonna have to deal with that after we take care of Yorm. But for now, of course, we're doing different things. Because there is something that we can do if we go back to the Undead Settlement. And it's been a long, long time since we went there. So you remember when I said this area is huge and that we've now done everything inside it? Well, I don't want to say I lied, but I did not count this for the sake of the argument. Because there is one more bit that we can do here. One more small other thing as well, but this is actually a little bit that will advance Ciri's questline further. Because here is a summon sign. And again, Ciri will not help us, but we will help her.
I finally found you. Just as I promised, Grandad. Remember?
Okay. So Hodrick is Ciri's father, or grandfather rather. And since he kind of went a bit nuts by joining the Mount Makers, the Wildcard Covenant, who will just attack everything as they please, and sometimes they won't because Wildcard motherfuckers, that's what they'll do. So she's come basically to put him down out of his misery. He's not necessarily gone hollow, but well, we did talk to him. He might have gone hollow since, of course. That's always possible. Because as he pointed out when we talked to him, everyone's gonna go hollow someday. Just today is not the day. Maybe it's now. And he does use the power within pyromancy, which we haven't found yet. It's gonna be a while, but just let it be known that it kind of sucks in this game. It doesn't last long enough to be worthwhile. And the increase in damage that you get for taking damage constantly is just not big enough. But you know, doesn't matter in the end.
Good night, Grandad.
So, now that we've done that, we can just, you know, jump down there into the Pit of Hollows. Because why not? it certainly is the fastest way back down here. And going back down here is actually exactly what we want, because after, you know, killing Hodrick, we can actually loot his items in our own world here. Which is just his armor. But it's nice nonetheless. Anyway, one more final thing about the Undead Settlement, and then we're done, I swear. Just one more tiny thing. Okay? Just one. That's all. So, you remember our friend the giant with the big ass bow who helped us not once, not twice, but 3 times? It's sad, but he died. And we do get the Hawk Ring from him, which was Hawkeye Goth's ring in Dark Souls 1. Goth being one of Gwyn's 4 loyal knights. He was the giant with a big bow. I don't know if this was Goth having gone old and senile or not, but he does have a different voice actor, that's for sure. Anyway, once more Sirius is here after completing part of her quest.
Oh, there you are. I'm afraid I've involved you in my affairs over a little promise at that. My sincerest thanks for your assistance. At last, my grandfather will rest in peace, and I can die. But there is one last. May I take a vow to serve you as a knight? Oh, I am most grateful. I, Cirrus, do hereby serve as your faithful knight. Wherever, whenever I am needed. My loyalty shall never waver. Blessing of the moon upon your journey. If I may ever be of assistance, I am your knight forever and true. Blessing of the moon upon your journey.
Alright, that's the end of her quest. She'll basically just be summonable for some few boss fights. But there is one more thing that we can do, because up there is our buddy Leonhard. It's been a long time since we've talked to him. And in fact, we're not gonna go up there and talk to him right now, but the thing is that you remember that whole Rosaria's thing and how Sirius is the enemy of Rosaria's covenant. Now that we've completed our quest line, there's no reason for us not to, you know, advance the Rosaria quest line. Because all we gotta do to piss off Ceres is to actually, you know, give one pale tongue to her. I think spending one will do it too, but just to be safe, I give one to her. Aside from that, we can just now safely reallocate our points, which means to respec, or we can also change our appearance if we want, but why would we? Anyway, Leonhard has shown up here now.
So, you've chosen to serve Rosaria after all. She will be pleased with me for finding her another finger. But be warned, my friend. Rosaria's fingers need only fetch tongues for their mistress. Otherwise, we are free, unchained. Like Yellowfinger, you can choose to believe that all fingers share camaraderie. But do not force your romance upon the rest of us.
I just want to point out that as he mentioned Yellowfinger, we actually saw a player ghost with Yellowfinger set walking past. That's quite amazing. But, you know, anyway, since Ceres is the sworn enemy of Rosaria's fingers, she's now not too pleased with us, and she will let us know that that's the fact.
I see that you are now a finger of Rosaria. Your path is wholly different to mine. Gentle Unkindled, I bid you farewell. If we meet again, it will be as adversaries.
We could kill her now if we were a dick, but I don't think she deserves it, so let's just let it rest. And call it a day, in fact, because that's all we can do for now. We'll be able to advance Rosaria's questline later on, but for now, see ya.